Okay. Good evening, everyone. So welcome back to Angular APEC Meetup on Wednesday. Today we have Vineet to be our guest speaker to show us like various ways to use injection token in Angular app. So injection token is very powerful like mechanism in Angular because like it can be used to sub data in unit testing and E2E testing. And I hope everyone can learn a few things from Vineet in this talk. But before he present his topic, I want to make a few Angular Nation announcements. So tomorrow, the amazing Tiger UI team will come to Angular Nation to have a meeting to chill and talk about the software at 11 p.m. Hong Kong time. And then at the end of the month, like Shai Resnick, the funny and knowledgeable Angular testing expert, will come, and everyone should show up and bombard him with questions and learn a few things on unit testing and E2E testing, because testing is very important to ensure like correctness of a software. And then from this way to the end of October, there'll be like various meetup in Angular South Asia, Angular Africa, and Angular APEC. And if you are interested, please go to Angular Nation to check out the event page and join whatever event that interests you the most. So that's the end of Angular Nation announcement, and I want to give the floor to Vineet. So welcome, Vineet.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. As Connie told, I'm going to present a talk about injection tokens, how we can use those to our benefits, and how can we write more tree shakable codes. So let me share my screen first, then we start. Okay, just give me a minute. I have to do some settings regarding my screen. I think my screen is visible to everyone. Is it?
Yes.
It's coming through now.
Yep. Yeah, we see your screen.
Okay.
And the slide.
Okay, that's great. So my name is Vineet Tomar, and I have been working as a full stack developer around 6 years. And in front end, I have almost work in Angular, and in back end, sometime I work on Node.js and sometime on Java. So today's topic is injection tokens. First, we get introduction, what it is, and then we will move forward how can we create our own injection tokens. Okay, so injection tokens is basically technically, if I say it is a class in Angular by using which we can create our own injection tokens, and those tokens we can use with dependency injection framework provided in Angular, to our benefits. So there are few use cases where we have to use custom injection tokens. We cannot escape from using it. So like yeah, these are three. I found these three ways to use those. One is we have some types who do not have runtime representation. For example, we have interfaces, and if we have generic types, we cannot differentiate from two generic types at runtime. and like if we have callables functions in that case, and we can also use these like to give us default providers just in case if we do not want some custom implementation, or if we forget to provide some custom implementation. In that case also we can use default providers, and so that there will not be no null injector provider error will not be thrown, and there will be like minimum chances that our application will break. So for this so how can we start using a injection token? First of all, what we have to do, we have to create an instance of class injection token, and when we call its constructor, we have to provide the description, what is the for what purpose we are going to use that injection token. Then we have to configure a provider for that injection token, and after that in our constructor we can use @inject decorator, and inside that we can inject our instance of our injection token, and whatever value we have configured in the provider, that will be available inside our class. So below are these are the use cases as I explained earlier. So let's start with the first use case. So for this, I have created to-do service. Inside this service, I have declared a interface. It has title, description, and status of pending, in progress, and done. These could be the three status as of now. And to to insert dummy data, I have created this array of to-dos. It has 6 to-dos, and each two of them has status, two having pending status, and next two in progress, and 5 and 6 as done status. So this is basic state management I am doing over here. I have created a behavior subject, and these to-dos are the default values I am providing, and with the help of a getter, I am getting these values from my subject. Okay, so first use case, let's see first use case. This to do is an interface. So how can we get a list, just a list of to dos without using directly to do service inside our component? For this, I have created to do component over here. This is first injection token I have created. This is to do, and this will give us an observable, and observable has generic type of to do's to do arrays. Okay, then after creating this injection token, I have configured a provider. This provider has against provide, we have our instance of our injection token. Then here it is going to use to do service. So inside depth array, I have declared to do service, and I am using use factory for this. So this service will be available over here, and it is just going to return getter of to dos. And next, inside our app, this to do component, I am injecting this all to dos over here, and this will be directly available to me. And inside inside my to do component.html, I am getting all to dos. I am using async pipe over here, and inside table these will be populated. we have columns title, description, and status. Let's enable this. Okay. Okay. I think I have to refresh this. So over here we can see that all our to-dos will be available. This is the most simplest use case we can see. How can we create an injection token and how can we use it? Suppose we have two different components. Like one is for pending. We just want to show pending to dos, and inside other we want to show just to dos which are done. So with that, that can also be easily done. And again, we have to create injection token like this. We are calling injection token constructor and creating an instance. Then again, we are configuring a provider, and over here we are just filtering to dos with the status pending. And for in this example, I am doing all this just in one component, but sometime uh, if we get more complex requirement, then like it will be like much easier to like modularize or separate our codes. I like this approach. So for getting done to dos, we are just again filtering to dos with the status. Then again, we are just inside our constructor, we are injecting with these pending to dos and done to dos. And again, in template over here, like pending to dos will be available inside against this variable. By using again async pipe, I am getting this time. I will be only getting the to dos which are having pending status, and below this I have a list of done to dos. So here we can see these are my pending to dos, and below this I am having done to dos. Okay. So like these both these list, if we see these has same types of array of to dos, but if we just want to differentiate, I just want pending to dos only and done to dos only, or in progress to dos only, and I do not want to write all codes inside my constructor or inside my service. I just go with this approach. The another benefit of this approach is that suppose I am not going to use pending to dos, then in that case I do not have to inject that injection token anywhere, and like our code will be more tree shakeable, and it will be easier for us to maintain like bundle size of our application. Another use case will be like if we want to convert one type to another, such as here we have like we can see we have uh, two to dos with pending status, two with in progress status, and two with done status. So like we can, if we want to generate some report on the basis of how quantity, how many are like pending, in progress, and done. So we in that case we do not require to dos interface anymore. We can say that we just want the quantities of how many like pending, in done and in progress are. That can be, we can that also achieve very easily with the injection token. Again, we have to define a callback which will be able to convert an array like from like to do array of to do interface to an object which will have like these values, and as per according to our requirement we can convert these like if we want to draw some chart, we can very easily can do that there. Like if we are using D3.js, in that case we can like return complete HTML from our O level, and here I am just returning an object which is telling us the quantities of every to dos. So for this, okay, I have this to-do stats type I have declared over here. It has pending, in progress, and none of type number. And I have again like declared one type to-do to stats converter. It will accept an argument of to-do array of to-do, and it will return to-do stats like object of this type. So again, same like a boilerplate, we can say injection token instance we are creating over here. Then we are configuring a provider. Uh, it is like we are using in previous example we have used use factory. Here we are using use value because this is going to be a callback. It starts from here. Then I am creating this just one object and using like inside for each on the basis of status I am incrementing the quantity of these to dos. So in the end I'm just returning whatever is the latest value of these we have. And again uh, like inside my constructor I'm getting to dos list of all to dos and converter like to do to stats converter, and this is observable just using pipe, and inside pipe using map operator. Then again in map operator I am using our converter, and then it will just return like an object of this type we have over here. And inside to do stats I am just like printing the JSON of the object we have over here. So this is like for representation purpose. I made this very simple, but again, in real life example, uh, we can use it if we are calling some APIs, and before returning that our data to the component, we want to convert our data, and in that case, this converter design pattern will be like will be very useful for us. Where it is. Here we go. So in case of like our in case of testing, we can very easily override these injection tokens. Like we do not, if we just want to like I do not have like some proper example for how can we write this in testing, but yeah, these are some examples. Then last use case left like to use how can we use as default providers. So for that I have created a component add to dos inside that like this is like still in progress. I am going to do going to complete it now. So what we can do, suppose we have a form field and on the basis of type of error we want to show a error message, and like inside our by default we can give some for every error we can give some error message, and then on the basis of requirement if there is some different forms available, we can just override that error message just configuring a provider. If we do not configure a provider, then default values will be like displayed. So Let's go with this example. First of all, let me go to app.component.ts, and this form is like visible now. And let me create. Okay, token, and what is it? Okay, so my bad. Copy. And like to configure a provider, we just have to give one. We have to just pass one more parameter. We are going to provide it in and root. Okay, factory return. So we have to inject this in our constructor. Type is so okay. Error message. Good. Okay, what is happening? Oh, I have. So, product name, then title. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's working now. So, like this, okay, template pass.
You made a typo. It's NGMODEL, not DLE.
At,
Like the
oh,
description. Yeah.
thanks. I think it's working now. Yeah. So, like we can see, all the error messages are coming, and we we have not like provided, we have not configured any provider for our home error message token. We are just using this default value. Suppose if you want to configure a provider, we can do that also. So, home error message provider token use value. Okay, so in this case, we are expecting these provide a title, these provided error message are supposed to come. So like we provide a title. Uh, this is like working as expected, and like add one, add one, detail status pending. If we are going to add, so okay, so it is added at the top, and accordingly here pending to dos these are also updated, and our stats is also updated. So these are the use cases I find like most useful. Do anyone has any question?
Oh, Tito has a question.
Okay, let me go to chat.
Um,
Yes.
yeah. So, in the when you injected um, when you injected the error messages into the constructor,
Hmm.
yeah, by default it's not public, right? You have to make it public.
You are talking these messages, or I am make yeah. I have to make it public because if I do not make it public, then this will not be available outside the scope of constructor. This is just a shorthand for this
Yeah,
public.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
The Maya, your turn.
Bhattacharya.
You have a
Hi,
question?
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Hey, thanks for the whole session. It was nice. I was just wondering, could you give like this was obviously a demo project, but in real life,
Mhm.
where people generally mostly
Mhm.
use injection token?
So, like you can find if there is like a very big project. Suppose you have and like you have to provide a custom validator for email input field. Just I am taking an example, and at one place you are using template driven forms, and another place you are using reactive forms. So in that case also, like to apply custom validator for both the forms, have different ways to do that, but you can create a simple callback for that, and you can provide that callback uh, as in like injection token, and you can directly use that inside with if you are going to apply custom validator in case of template forms, you have to create a directive, and for like if in reactive forms you just have to pass as a arg- like if you are going to use a constructor or form builders, in case of reactive forms, obviously you are going to pass that inside an array at the second argument. Accordingly, like if you are going to use constructor, you will have to pass again second uh, parameter. So real like a real case example is that email input field could be a part of sign up forms also, and another at some another place you just have to provide emails for the some subscriptions, some newsletters, and in case of sign up forms, it is more reasonable to use reactive forms, and in case of subscription for newsletters, it is like more reasonable to use just uh, like template driven forms. For like it is also increasing your reusability of your code. This is like one more example. And I have also provided like this example over here. uh, if you like you have um, here it is like a for required input field, I can make it this like more generic, like this field is required, and by default that required error I can use whenever I like I find required validation error. Like instead of like just for titles and description and status, it could be like in like this field is required, that message can be reused. But in some case you like you if you want to make it like if you want to override default values, you can again provide configure a provider in that case.
I was also wondering that when would you use value and when you would use factory?
uh, Use value, just like if you are going to use static values, some static object in this case, like this in like we are just going to use this structure only. It is not going to like change at the runtime. So in that case we should use value, and use factory we should use like if some value is going to change, we need some dependency or some another value is going to change at runtime, like inside our to do components here we required to do service. So initially this to do service is not available, and this like in this case use factory, it will like this is a simple callback, and inside callback we can like provide our dependencies. So this is another use case. Use fact with use value, we cannot just inject any services or any dependencies.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, Stephen has a question.
Okay. Just to add to the use case, I find myself in the NX environment trying to use the environment file in the app folder, in the lib folder. So
Okay.
in order for me to be able to do that, I have to inject, create an injection token as a library, and then inject it in the root app model, and then I'll be able to use it in my library. So that's another use case.
Yeah, correct. Like this Angular material by default colors is warning for like if we are going to use radio buttons, and if we want to change that color, either we have to add an attribute color, whatever we want, or we can just provide an injection token at the root level at any module wherever we want. Okay.
I'll take a look myself today. Like if I can complete something in the morning, or if I have questions, I'll reach out. So
Vinay, do you have a sample repo?
Uh, I have not like pushed this to GitHub, but I am going to you can like just type my name after GitHub, and like most probably by the end of today, I will do that. In the morning, I just started to working on this exam. So this otherwise, if you want, you can just use this then.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, Demaya.
Sorry, I just thought of another question which I had was, let's say there are a lot of constants we use, especially, for example, the environment file, which has environment-related constants, right? Would you recommend creating injection tokens for them? Not just constants, any external dependencies you have, like it could be functions, it could be constants, anything. Would you recommend creating tokens for them, or would it be okay? I mean, I know it works if you use them directly, but would you recommend, and would I get any benefit if I converted all of them to use dependency injection?
Actually, that depends on the developer to developer. So again, if you like, just you can follow one simple rule. If you find a piece of code which is which is going to be used in two different files, whether it is a simple function or not, or like any other constant values, you can. It will be better if you create a injection token and a configure provider, because this way, if you like, if you do not using that injection token somehow, and then it will not increase your bundle size, and it will be like more maintainable your code. Otherwise, if that particular function is going to be used at one place, it is better to declare only there. You should not make a const for that. And for like environment variables, like I think for environment variables we use these files, because at compile time, Angular, on the basis of environment, Angular CLI replaces one file with another. So if you are going to make const those use it like that feature replacing one file with another. In case of prod will replace environment.ts, that will not be available. Or you have to create more and more files on the basis of environment if you are going to use some const.
You mean if I used environment variable with injection token?
With injection token you can use, but you should not.
Okay.
But in some case, if you want to override some implementation on the basis of environment, then you have to use like you can get the name of the environment, and then you can check whether it is prod mode or any other development environment. You can override that implementation. But if you are going to write that implementation itself inside these files, I think that is not the correct way to use environment files. Okay. Any other question?
I guess no one has any question on injection token, or they have already asked all the questions.
I think so.
Yeah, but I mean the last example is very interesting. I've never thought of using injection token to inject from error messages.
Yeah. Actually, I recently started using injection tokens with error messages.
I mean, you can load the error messages from database.
Right, you can, but again, that depends on the way you are developing your application.
It's really interesting.
Like if we want to make it a little bit more faster, instead of using here, like calling a function over here, we should use pipe, and we can pass like our like errors on the controller, and again that will be like if we are using pure pipes, our error message will be cached until or unless that error object is like, or like new value is assigned to that.
Yes. It's really nice. I think the get error message function can accept any like error, right? Not just require. I mean, can it like support other error message?
Yes, it can, but again, how you are going to use like that also depends on the structure, like on the structure you are going to provide your error messages. It is like these keys, we can make these like more generic. Suppose if you are going to use like error message. This is becomes very generic. It can like uh, these like this level will hold the name of our input field, and this level will hold all the error messages. And in this case, we are just returning a string, or we can like assign another type to this also. It will be, and we can get error and okay. I think I will say. Yeah. So, like on the basis of values, we can again we can call a callback, or we can just return a simple string. That depends whatever we have configured inside our provider. Actually, I'm using currently this value in my project. This like this, I find this is much reusable.
Yeah. So we can't wait to see the sample in GitHub. I guess everyone will fork it and study it in their free time, because the examples are very practical and can be used in like real like
Yeah.
Angular project. So it is a great presentation. Thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, I certainly learned a lot about like ingestion token. So does anyone have more questions? Because like it's almost like 10 p.m. Yeah. So maybe Vinny can stop sharing the screen, and then we can turn on our camera to thank you for giving us like an excellent talk. It's a tradition like Bonnie started, and I am responsible to continue this tradition and encourage it.
Actually, this is my first ever talk, and I was very nervous how I am going to like do it.
So, oh, you have never seen my first, second, and third talk. It is awesome. So Thank you so much for coming to Angular APAC, and I feel so privileged to meet you before you become famous. Because once people get famous, they're very hard to book. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, everybody.
Thank you, Vinit.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vinay.
Need to ask you to come.
And that's not true, Connie.
What?
Ari's still here. He's very famous.
Yeah, that's why he's coming back the second time. He in Venice.
Rob is more famous than me.
No. I don't think so.
I will make you more famous if you want.
Yes, you can make me more famous.
I have already started, so be patient, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vinit. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, bye.
I just posted this GitHub page somewhere there. Yeah. Bye.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks. Bye.